Today we're going to be doing a league with Lantern Control. It's my favourite deck in Modern to play actually. I've taken it to the last couple of events I've been to. For those who don't know, you get down an ensnaring bridge so your opponent can't attack you, and use cards like Pithing Needle to stop them having any other ways to win, and then use Lantern of Insight in combination with these mill rocks to stop your opponent ever drawing any relevant cards to break out of the lock you've assembled. The deck's a lot of fun for one player, so I'm pretty hype to run this for a league. I played it in the PTQ this weekend online. I think I started out like 5-1, but then ended up dropping to 5-3. But really love playing this. Trying out a couple cards in the sideboard I don't usually play on Brian Brondewin's recommendation. So Padim I played a bit before. I don't know, I've often found she just feels a bit too expensive and clunky, but she can be very good in some matchups. Gira Grid I've never played in this deck before though, but after reading his article I'm convinced that it's worth trying, and that it's not actually win more, but in a lot of matchups can feel pretty essential post-board. So, interested in giving it a go. This hand is pretty decent. We don't have any lock pieces, but we have turn 1 Thoughtseize off of the Mox Opal, which is nice. And then we can use the Whir and the Ancient Stirrings to dig for bridges or what have you. So let's just play out all our artifacts. That way the Mox Opal will make black mana for us, so that we can Thoughtseize our opponent. Let's see what's going on over there. Ooh, we've got some Hollow One action. So we've got a pair of Flame-Bladed Adepts, a Goblin Lore, and a Gurmag Angler. This is interesting. I almost want to take the Goblin Lore. The hand feels kind of slow then. Like, then these Adepts don't get any discard triggers, this Angler doesn't get out quickly. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in just taking this Goblin Lore. And we're not going to sack the Mishra's Bauble, because we need it as a third artifact for this Mox Opal. Also, gaining the life of the Inventor's Sphere is pretty nice anyway. So I'm pretty happy just sitting on this bauble for a while. If we find a mill rock off the Ancient Stirrings, we can use the bauble kind of as a scry effect with the mill rock, because if we see a card we don't want off the bauble, we can mill it away. So let's yield to this. Opponent wasted a fetch land. Drawing another colourless land is brutal with this Whir in hand, but we should be okay. Opponent's start is going to be quite slow. Let's just Ancient Stirrings, look for a mill rock. Didn't find one. We've got a Lantern or a Pithing Needle, or a Spire. We could legitimately just take the Spire, potentially, because it's means we're only one blue source away from having Whir online. That's actually kind of interesting to me. I think I kind of just want to take the Spire, right? I could even spell bomb the Adept then if I wanted. If they have like a big Goblin Lore turn, I then have the option of doing that. I could take the Lantern. I kind of just feel like if I get a bridge down, my opponent can't win pre-board though, as long as my life total's reasonably high. I'm not sure the Lantern's doing much at the moment, whereas getting to bridge quickly sounds really appealing to me. I don't know. I could see it being correct to take the Lantern, but I think I just like getting the blue source in play. Oh, I should update my title, shouldn't I? Modern. So, opponent is hitting me for 1. I really don't care about that. I kind of just want to keep my Spellbomb in play. Because the Spellbomb means if I draw a blue source next turn, I can go find a bridge. So I'll have 6 things in play. Hey, Sad Mafioso. It has been a while. I got in a couple streams last week, but not as many as I was hoping to. But I'm trying to make this a more regular thing. Hey, Charlotte. Right, we're not going to crack any of this stuff, because if I find a blue source, I just want to be able to grab a bridge. There's also just, like, not much pressure on me to do stuff at the moment. Hey, that is an ensnaring bridge. So we'll pass the turn, and then if opponent discards anything, we'll be able to go grab a bridge, because their flame blades will pump up in size. There we go. I'm just double checking my sideboard guide quickly. This is like the only deck I have a sideboard guide written out for, so it can get pretty unintuitive sometimes. What's this gonna be? 2 black mana, or is this a collective brutality? I am very okay with collective brutality. Sure. Let's probably force the concession here. X equals 3. Apparently I just don't have a Hollow One sideboard guide, which is probably ill form. Right. Grab the bridge. Opponent cannot possibly win. I guess they could win. They could win if we draw, like, lands for the next 5 turns, and their Flame Blades remain at 1 power, and it's so unlikely, though. In fact, that's a very good motivation to not crack the bauble anytime soon. We don't want to accidentally end up with cards in hand through drawing multiple lands in a row. So when he gets a Bloodghast back, but that really doesn't matter with our bridge in play. Cool, that will let us empty our hand. So I'm just gonna pass the turn here. I'm gonna just cast this Abrupt Decay, get the card out of my hand. Decay my own bridge. That doesn't seem like a winning line, Charlotte. I could sack the Wobble to dig for lock pieces, but I just don't need to do anything at the moment. Okay, that's kind of nice. Let's pass the turn back to them. Then I can use the Shredder with the Bauble to get a Scry, try and dig towards a Lantern maybe. I guess we've got this Inventor's Fair to go find a Lantern, actually. Oh yeah, we can go get the Lantern with the Fair, Argulypuff, you're right. I guess I'd rather have Pixis, question mark, because of, like, random graveyard shenanigans. I'm not actually going to sack this Bauble, because I don't want to end up with 2 lands in hand. I feel like that's basically the only way I could feasibly ever lose, as unlikely as it is to cause me to lose. So I can pass the turn back, sack this, find a Lantern, untap, play both. And I've got this Pyrite Spellbomb, which means if they, on like the 0.1% chance they have any shenanigans to pump this Flame Blade big enough, I can just kill it, so whatever. If you're playing Lantern, you shouldn't win. I mean, you should win after like 20 agonizing turns for your opponent. Right, there's Lantern. Ooh. I will take the Lightning Bolt because it's the one that has text. Play out my garbage. Now we're just going to start aggressively milling our opponent. How long have I played Lantern? Or how long have I played Magic? I started Magic back in Dragon's Maze, which is like 5 years now. Been playing Lantern since October-ish. Basically, when the Word-Up version became popular, I was a lot more interested in it. Like, up until that point, it seemed like kind of a fun deck, but wasn't like too invested in the idea. But then once the Word version came out, it just seemed so much more consistent that I really wanted to play it. Cool, just keep milling our opponents. What is Lantern? Lantern is shorthand name for this deck. It's a prison deck where you get Ensnaring Bridge down and effects like Pithing Needle to stop your opponent's cards doing stuff. And then you use these cards in combination to stop them ever drawing relevant cards ever again, because you can see what they're going to draw and mill it away. At this point, I'm not even paying much attention to what I'm milling, because pre-board they just have no real outs to what we have on board. I'm just trying to end the game as quickly as possible. Honestly, almost wonder if it's quicker to be killing them with the Spell Bomb, with this Academy Ruins. But I kind of want to see if they have any Spice main deck. Like, they had the main deck Blood Moon. That's really nice to know about. Kind of. Like, all these cards work kind of like Millstones, except they're much cheaper. Which is obviously, like, nicer and modern. I'd just name a random card, I guess. So, I don't want to activate these Pixie because I can use the Word to go find another Shredder, which will speed up this whole process. So at this point, my opponent has no outs. We're just trying to end the game as quickly as possible. Doop-doop. So X is 1. Find another Shredder. I'm just going to start doing this main phase, because it really doesn't matter what we're doing. I'm going to keep that Shredder on top because it speeds things up. Yeah, they probably should concede. This is not one of the matchups where they can really time me out. Like, all these sort of linear aggro decks, you can't really time your opponent out because, like, from my perspective, the game just so quickly reaches a point where I don't really have meaningful decisions anymore. The matchups where you could actually time me out are like control decks, where games remain interactive for a long, long time. But, like, at this point, my opponent just doesn't have anything they can do. casting my garbage. I mean, it's possible my opponent knows they can't win, but they just want to, like... They have a main deck Tassica, which is weird. But they just want to, like, try and time me out. Just think it's fairly unrealistic for them to actually time me out in this matchup. Yeah, I have to assume the opponent sees it and just, like, doesn't care. Being obstinate. Which, you know, they're free to do. And now they are dead, because I mill them 6 times and then they untap and have no cards in their library. Obstinate like a Baloth. That was actually going through my head when I said obstinate. I resisted the temptation to say that, but... Alright, that went okay. So, post-board, we have to worry about Ancient Grudge, Thoughtseize, and Blood Moon mainly, as ways for our opponent to interact. So I really like these Welding Jars and this Grafdigger's Cage to fight against Ancient Grudge. What other cards appeal? Nature's Claim's okay. It can hit a Hollow One or a Blood Moon. Or even just like one of our own things to get us out of bolt range. Not really too interested in any of this other stuff. So bad things. We can definitely cut a Pithing Needle. I think I'd like to try and keep one in to help us against Grim Lava Monster. So if I can keep one copy in, that would be nice, but we can definitely trim one. I think we can trim this Witchbane Orb, we can trim this Decay, and we can cut one more card. Possibly even the Academy Ruins can go. Like, we're lowering our curve a bit, and I don't think the game really comes down to us. This the Ruins is, like, fine. It's not really necessary, though. The other option would be trimming a Thoughtseize. I think I'm gonna trim the Academy Ruins. I think it's fine to trim that. No, the Spell Bomb's still nice. It, like, kills the Flameblade Adepts and can find it to kill a Grim Lava Monster. It's not great, but it's like, I think it's good enough. You actually don't, I've never actually killed someone with Academy Ruins Pyrite Spellbomb in this deck. I think since Whir became a part of the deck, that just doesn't really happen anymore, which is really weird. This hand is nice. We've got 3 artifacts to turn on our turn 1 Opal, and then get to start discarding them. If we draw an Ensnaring Bridge or a Lantern, then this hand has a lot going on, and the discard's going to buy us a bit of time until then. We also have turn 1 Inventor's Fair already gaining us life, which is funny. Like 2 games in a row, turn 1 Inventor's Fair. Cool, they have the oh no, they have the Looting. Okay. So we're just hoping to fade the turn 1 Hollow One at the moment. They ditched a Bloodghast into their yard, which is nice of them. Ooh, we drew a Whir. That might alter what land I play. Am I liking Lantern? I love Lantern. I've actually been playing it a little while. It's probably my favourite deck to play in Modern at the moment. What am I gonna... I think I'm just gonna play the Fair. Like, even if I play the Glimmer Void and draw another blue source, I can't actually worth a bridge next turn anyway. So, I don't think playing out the Glimmer Void's too relevant for whir purposes. I'm just going to start with the Inquisition. If I Inquisition them, and they have a... what's it called? A Gomag Angler. I'm going to be turning it online. So I might just want to Thoughtseize them. I think I'm going to Inquisition though. I think it's really close. Whoa, their hand is garbage, but quite good against this whir. Yep, I'm just going to pass the turn. You're trying to put it together on paper, but opals are hard to get now. Yeah, opals are... they probably need to reprint opal fairly soon. Like, with KCI becoming more of a thing over the last 6 months, and like Lantern becoming more of a thing with War of Invention, the opals are just under a lot of demand at the moment. That's not the best draw I've ever had. Cool, let's just Thoughtseize that Blood Moon. So they have a Stomping Ground as their only card in hand, but they are going to get to looting next turn, which is a bit scary because it helps them dig towards Ancient Grudge. Yeah, KCI is sweet as well. KCI is like really solid. I think that deck's been kind of underrated for a while, but adding the, is it Mirror Retriever to it has been a really big improvement. It's really helped with the deck's consistency. Foil opals are gorgeous. When I started playing Affinity, the copy that was lent to me was like almost all foil. I was so jealous. Yeah, some of the rules interactions and stuff in KCI are kind of weird. You're not wrong about that. It's kind of interesting if we, oh, they aren't going to looting this turn. Huh. Okay. So I was a bit unsure about what to do this turn. But now that we've drawn the Glimmer Void, I think we're just going to go find a bridge. We could go find a Lantern, honestly. We're not under that much pressure, and we've got the Inventor's Fair gaining us life. Like, we really aren't under much pressure. What I'm really scared of at the moment is them finding an Ancient Grudge. And finding a Lantern would help us fight against that a little bit. That's probably greedy though, I'm probably just meant to get a bridge. Hey there, Cambo. This is actually really interesting. Like, if I go to find a Lantern, I'm honestly not that far away from finding a bridge then, because I've got this Inventor's Fair. And they haven't got that much pressure either. They're going to be hitting us for 5 next turn. I am just going to go get a bridge though. Their deck can easily become very explosive out of nowhere, with Goblin Laws and such. And with the Inventor's Fair, we're also only 2 turns away from a Lantern anyway. So, I think this is fine. Just gonna let this resolve without them knowing that we have the bridge in hand. If they keep an Ancient Grudge in hand, we get to snipe 1/2 of it with the Thoughtseize, which is nice. Yeah, the new art's kind of nice. I think I'm always going to play the original bridges just because I love old border artifacts. I think old border artifacts is just like kind of gorgeous. Opponent is getting salty at me in chat. Brown artifacts forever, I know, right? Also, I have not set this up properly. There we go. That is a hollow one. That is not very scary. Wow. Opponent just has nothing. Their hand's now empty. And we're 2 turns away from a lantern if we hit a land, I think. Oh, that's kind of garbo. Let's just Inquisition our Thoughtseize. Yeah, they're getting salty because they think we like top decked the whir and stuff. Obviously I have to Inquisition myself there just to turn off their attackers. I think I'm just going to start blind milling with Pixis. We have a couple 1-ofs in our deck we don't really want to exile, but loading up the Pixis could end up being relevant. Yeah, I never get that argument either, Cambo. The other thing is, like, Lanterns, even if we did top deck it, Lantern is really good at top decking. That's like, with like 4 tutors in the deck, and a bunch of redundancy and stuff, like, the deck is legitimately good in top deck mode. I think I'm naming Grim Lavamancer, right? Could also name, like, Engineered Explosives, but I really doubt they have that in their deck. I guess Grim Lavamancer would take forever to kill us. Oh, Street Wraith. Well done, Charlotte. Thank you. It's been a while since I played against this deck. You're right, Street Wraith. Yeah, exactly, Freed. So, fingers crossed we just find a lantern soon and then we're all safe. I mean, a welding jar is actually a pretty good draw. It means that this bridge isn't going away anytime soon. If we draw a Grafdigger's Cage, the game's actually probably over as well, because then each Ancient Grudge will only shatter one thing, and we have these 2 welding jars in play to protect the bridge or the Grafdigger's Cage as appropriate. So we have a lot of live draws that just like end the game on the spot, which is really nice. Cool. Suspend a Lantern of Insight. Hey there, Helping Gaming. I have missed streaming. It is nice to be back. I'm only doing like 2 or 3 streams a week at the moment, because I still have a lot going on in my life, but have I ever cracked a Pixis? Yes. The answer to that is yes. So I want to go find Lantern here, right? So I just pass the turn, except that the Flame Data Adept's going to hit me. I've cracked Pixis about 5 times. 2 of them have outright won me the game. 1 of them almost won me the game, and 2 of them were like awful, but desperation moves. No, my Shredder. So rude. So rude. So, end of their turn, I'm going to sack the Spare to go find a Lantern. I'm going to do it before activating Pixis on the off chance that, like, we've exiled 2 of our 3 other Lanterns. Could also just go get Grafdigger's Cage, honestly, but I think it's all fairly immaterial. At least if we get a Lantern, we can dig to Millrock slightly faster, which is kind of nice. That is a Street Wraith. That does not do much because we have a Pithing Needle in play, so we'll happily let them draw that. Bloodghast's hidden mode. Yeah, I'm hoping to do some limited soon as well, because I've got the RPTQ coming up, which is sealed and then draft. So I actually quite enjoy Rivals. I think it's like a decent format. So I'm hoping I can get in some drafts and stuff. So we're going to activate this Pixis, get rid of that Faithless Looting. Ooh, that's exciting. So they have, their hand is Swamp and a Mystery card because they discarded the Goblin Lore and Faithless Looting that they drew. And now they get to Looting. Or they could just choose not to do that. I really want this Pixis, so I'm just going to untap here. This is really frustrating. I think I'm gonna let them have that hollow one as well, because I want the Codex Shredder. Like whatever, you can have your Cycler. I'm probably gonna looting at some point soon. So at the moment, what we're really looking to do is find a Grafdigger's Cage, and then the game will be over. Until that point, we're pretty safe though, because we can fight through an Ancient Grudge with 2 Welding Jars here. So they drew Hollow. They've drawn Hollow One, Flameblade Adept, Burning Inquiry. Have I played the Mirror? I have. It's actually quite interesting. The Mirror is like really weird. It's also like much faster than you'd expect a lot of the time. You can often have games be like essentially over on turn 4 or something silly. So their hand now is what? Flameblade Adept, Burning Inquiry, Hollow One. I am fine, Nabura Hammer. Oh my god. So my hair's been like this for like 6 months now. So it would have been like this when you last watched the stream. Yep, happily draw this Codex Shredder. Codex Shredder is great. Then what I might do is buy back the Whir in their end step with the Shredder, because then I can go find a Grafdigger's Cage and just like seal the game up. Happily letting them draw a Thoughtseize here if they want. They do not want. So their hand is a Burning Inquiry and what was the other one? Hollow One. To be fair, it's been a while since I last streamed regularly. No, you can't have that. You can't have that Ancient Grudge. It's just rude. That card's rude, opponent. Right, end of their turn. Burning Inquiry. Sure. So their final card in hand is a flame. Oh no, they have a Flameblade Adept and a Burning Inquiry in hand now. I think that's what they have. It's really hard to keep track of this because it only adds the second and third card that are revealed to the revealed card zone, and not the first one. Right, let's just activate this Pixis. That is a Grafdigger's Cage, so I now don't have to sack the Shredder anymore, which is nice. They are helping me mill them. They're speeding the game up. It's great. This cage is great too. I think this cage means they're on like actual 0 outs and cannot win the game anymore. Tilting the opponent out of life is Oh my god. I don't know how I can make this more tilting for them though. I guess I could just not kill them for a while. Just like, chill. Start codex shredding back codex shredders for the hell of it. Right, I'm gonna draw this wire. Go find another shredder. They could win if I start. They could win if I pass out. If I, like, collapse on stream, then I'm sorry for my loss. Yep. That grudge was probably their last out, because they probably only have 2 grudges, and they needed both to actually break through our board at the time. I agree with that. Right. I am just going to start milling them, because I'm bored. I want to move on to the next match, please, opponent. Just get rid of the cycler. So I think the one way we can lose is if we F6 at any point, because you know, if for somehow they've drawn a grudge without us realizing, they then get to shatter our only bridge. But should actually be auto yielding to this nonsense, so I can get on with my life. Okay, opponent's done. Opponent's had enough. They've accepted that they have been defeated by the Lantern Menace. That was kind of solid. That matchup's really, really good for this deck. Game 1 is, like, fairly hard to lose, and then you just have to, like, it's very hard for them to have 2 post-board games in a row where they have enough disruption to fight through what you're doing, because bridge is just so good against them. They have so few angles of attack against this card. Oh, that was a nice warm-up. The best part is seeing what their tipping point is when they finally scoop. The one I found weirdest is, in paper you get this a lot. You get a lot of opponents where the moment they'll wait until they have like 20 cards left in the library, then you mill like this one sideboard card that's amazing against them, and then that's the point they scoop. It's like, you aren't going to draw that card anyway, so I don't see why it's relevant if it's in your deck or not, but this sounds nice. This has, like, all parts of the Buffalo, right? The bridge, the lantern, the Pixis. Don't have any discard, so if they're an interactive deck, we could be in trouble, but otherwise this is looking great. And I'm not going to sack this bauble most likely, because then I can cast a turn 2 bridge. Or a turn 2 lantern, you know. Whatever we wish. Ooh, is this burn? Burn matchup is fun. It might be burn. I'm excited. Yeah, exactly, Freed. Right. So if I play a bridge this turn, next turn I can whir for a Witchbane Orb. That's probably pretty good. Could be Mardumancer, that's possible. I haven't seen Grim Lavamancer in their deck, but certainly not a bad card to play with a bunch of Faithless Lootings, right? Reasonable one for them to include. So let's whir for a Witchbane Orb. Opponent is swearing at me in chat. This is great. This is 2 matches in a row where opponents have salted off. Oh my god. This is great. I'm so happy. We could actually lose this game, potentially. If we draw lots of cheap things in a row, we could die to this Eidolon. So this game is not over yet, but opponent has no meaningful decisions anymore. They're swearing at me because they really hate Lantern, and I got, like, the actual nut draw. Turn 2 Bridge, turn 3 Witchbane versus Burn. They've conceded. It's kind of weird. I feel like that's actually an early concession. We could actually die here. Okay, we had a whir 3 cards down, so we weren't going to lose that. But I do feel like that was an aggressive concession. Like, they were probably like 2 or 3% to win that game. So, we want the ley lines, we want the jars, we want the claim to help deal with Eidolons and opposing ley lines, and we want the Chasm. I'm just copying my sideboard notes here, because I have all this stuff sorted out. I used to have a Brutality in my board, which I don't have at the moment, so that's going to alter sideboarding slightly. And I take out the Fort Caesars, because they are complete garbo. The Cage does nothing. The Needles do nothing. And then normally I would take out the Academy Ruins in this matchup, except I haven't really got much to bring in. So I could bring in the Ancient Grudge instead, as another answer to Eidolon, because Eidolon is a very scary card. However, I don't want to drive my curve too high, so I think I'm just going to leave it as is, even if the Academy Ruins is kind of a dead card here. I guess I could leave in a... They showed me a main deck Lava Monster. I guess it's not unreasonable to do this, right? Just keep 1 Pithing Needle in. Yeah, I'm going to keep 1 Pithing Needle in. It's probably better than the Academy Ruins. This hand does actual nothing. So, let's look for something a bit better. Opponent's milling to 6 as well. Ooh, this hand is nice. We haven't got a Witchbane yet, and we haven't got any interaction to stop a Destructive Revelry. But we've got a really fast lock setup, which is nice. Oh, they don't have any turn 1 critters, so I'm a bit scared of... what's it called? I'm a bit scared of Eidolon this game. So I'm going to play out this Mox Opal, even though it's not live yet, just to hopefully take a bit less damage off the Eidolon if they have it. Though honestly, if they have Eidolon, we might just be losing this game. And we're playing the Shredder instead of the Lantern, because of their fetch land. We don't want them knowing whether they want to shuffle away or keep the card that's on top, because it's likely they're cracking this fetch land at the end of our turn. But if they saw a Destructive Revelry on top, then we're essentially giving them a scry, which is really bad. Or even, like, if they see an Eidolon, or maybe they're missing their second land, who knows. Conversely, we lose a tiny bit of information this way, but because we don't get to see their top card for what they draw for turn. But the information isn't too relevant against Burn, because the vast majority of their cards have the same text box. Alright. Please, no Eidolon. This is looking grim. Opponent, please, have a heart. Oh, jeez. Right. This game, we don't want to mill ourselves because we've got Witchbane Orb in the deck. So, yes, I'm just going to chill on the Shredder activation. And sadly, even though we're going to get domed off the Eidolon, we do have to cast our stuff, because we need to get low enough for the bridge to stop the Eidolon attacking us soon. So, here I go. That's a good one. That leyline is a good one. So next time we can cast Bridge, then the turn after we cast Leyline. How do we feel about this Grim Lava Monster? Like, honestly, I feel under enough pressure at the moment that I almost just want to aggressively mill and see if I can stick them on a land for the turn. Because this is going to deal 2 damage, and I think that's going to end up mattering. Yeah, I think I agree that we have to mill it, Charlotte. I think you're right about that. The Leyline turns it off in like 2 turns. But yeah, yes, I could have cast Leyline next turn instead of the bridge, huh? You might be right, Sodek. Maybe that's better. Maybe we're meant to be aiming to cast Leyline next turn instead of bridge. So they've drawn a Rift Bolt, so now we're definitely casting Leyline, because it's going to stop this Rift Bolt from dealing 3. Oh, never mind. So we cast Bridge, we stop 4 damage. So this deals 4 to us, we go to 12. We're on a virtual 10 because we have to cast the Bridge at some point. I think I cast the Leyline now because they missed their land drop, which means they have lots of burn spells in hand. So I just want to get this down. It's going to stop the Rift Bolt that's on suspend, which is nice. We're going to go to 7 off of these attacks. But if they don't have a Destructive Revelry, I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty good spot at the moment. Like, we even have this Nature's Claim coming soon, which deals with the Eidolon, which is nice. Yeah, the Rift Bolt interaction with Leyline is adorable. You're not wrong about that, Charlotte. Right, we're just crossing their fingers at this point that they don't have any artifact destruction in hand, and if they don't, we probably win. But if they do, we probably lose. Are they targeting? Yep, they're targeting their face. Like it. Respect it. Shoot. That's probably game over for us. We still keep playing, but it's going to be kind of tough. I mean, they are going to 2 here off their Eidolon, potentially, if they're casting another spell. So they can just never cast a spell again for the rest of the game. So that's exciting. Oh my god. So, but we can't either. Huh. Unless they top deck that Revelry they misplayed, what should they have done in... Oh, because they could have done it in response to the suspend trigger, right? You're correct, Charlotte, yeah. So neither of us can really cast anything. We have to mill ourselves into a whir here, I guess. We mill ourselves into a whir for a bridge. That's actually really unfortunate. The fact we're going to be milling this Pyrite Spell Bomb because we need it in our deck long term. Because if we hit the whir, we'd need to whir for bridge and then find another whir for spell bomb. Yeah, we're dead. That game was super close though. That game was super, super close. So now we're on the play again, which is nice. I think I'm just running this back. Like not drawing an answer to Eidolon was kind of unfortunate. Or at least we didn't draw one until it was a bit too late. Ooh. This is so close to being great, but obviously it's not. If we had a single land or Moxo Ball, this hand would be like really nice. This hand is certainly something. I'm going to keep it. Going to need to find a lot very quickly, but we're going to keep the land on top. We're just going to turn 1 Inquisition them here, I think. They mold to 6 as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bauble them before Inquisitioning, because then we'll have more of an idea of what their 7 cards looks like, right? So like if we see a 1-drop on top, we know not to take the 1-drop from their hand or whatever. Okay, they're drawing a Boros Charm. That's not very exciting at all. So Inquisition them. Wow. Their hand is so bad. Jeez. Their hand is so bad. This is great. They only have 7 points in hand. You know, I almost wonder if that's like a mull to 5 quality hand. Like, I know their deck hates mulliganing, but that hand seems really rough. Inventor's Fair, jeez. Yeah, I think I'd be tempted to mull that too, Charlotte. I think I agree. I'm pretty sure I'm letting them draw this Swift Spear, because I'd like to draw that Inventor's Fair. Like, we're kind of interested in another mana source anyway, and that's like the best one. Shuffling away the Lava Spike. Leaving a Lava Spike on top, because Modo. If you've ever wanted to be suspicious about Shufflerbugs, by the way, don't play Lantern. Oh, that would be amazing, Charlotte. That would be so dreamy. Just see the top 2 cards. I would be all about that. I think I'm gonna let... So they have... What do they have? They have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can put us to 6. I think I'm just gonna let them have this one. I don't really want the Pyroclasm that much is the thing. I don't know. I'm just gonna let them have this one. If they tap out for both spells, then we get to Clasm away the Swift Spear anyway, so... Opponent's telling me to concede, which is weird. Because I don't feel particularly dead. I don't want to draw this Clasm particularly, so I'm going to activate Pixis here. Cool. Bauble is fine. Just cantrips into something better, hopefully. Yeah, we can get rid of this Lantern and then find something better with the Bauble. Also need to remember we do have a backup Lantern we can shuffle away something with, if it comes to that. before. Sure thing. So let's activate this Pixis. Think I'm gonna sack this bauble because I kind of need to find something good here. And then I'll set an upkeep stop for shenanigans. So we gain a life. We draw this Glimmer Void. Inquisition doesn't do anything, so I'm going to activate Pixis again here. Because we just really need to find something good. We don't want them drawing this bolt particularly anyway. Grim Lava Monster. Well, that is fine. Ooh, I really want to draw this Whir, but I'm probably just meant to Stirrings this turn to try and find anything really, like a Shredder or a Bridge. We know they have nothing in hand, so they're going to hit us for 1 and put us to 6, and then play the Lava Monster. And then we get to Whir for a Bridge. And then we have like 3 turns to find a Witchbane Orb. Is that okay? Might just pass the turn back here instead of casting the Stirrings. This is going to be gaining us life too, which helps raise Lava Monster activations, so that's less scary than it looks. I'm gonna pass the turn back here, I think. I think the Whir gives us such a high chance of getting out of the situation. Cool. So they have a Lightning Helix on top. Cool. So we're gonna get hit for 1 here. And then I'm gonna untap, gain a life, back up to 7, draw this Whir. So what am I doing? I really want to find a Witchbane Orb here, because then they're only hitting me for 1 a turn. And these just like act as prowess triggers, which isn't terribly scary. So I think I'm going to activate... I'm going to cast the Stirrings first, because if I find either Bridge or Witchbane, it informs my decision. It means I take 1, though. I don't think the 1 damage is worth it, honestly. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Thing is, if we get Bridge, they get to attack with these anyway, so we have to get Witchbane. Yeah, we have to get Witchbane, because if we get Bridge, it doesn't achieve anything, so they still get to attack. So I think this is correct. And just get our Witchbane in play, then all we have to deal with is this really slow clock. We should be able to do that. So, no reason to mill this Helix, it's only a prowess trigger with the Swift Spear. So we don't really care about it. Cool, so they're shuffling away the Helix. Goblin Guide, we are going to mill. It's a bit scary, because we could mill them towards a hate card or something. But the Guide is just going to make their clock too fast. They drew a Lightning Bolt, which is a prowess trigger. I'm just going to draw the Sanctum, because I don't mind them drawing a Boros Charm. Could tutor the bridge this turn with the Fair, I guess? That's probably better than casting the Stirrings, right? It means I lose the Fair, but I don't think that matters at all. Oh, they can give their Swift Spear double strike. Huh. So that's going to be 7 damage. So we can't let them draw the Boros Charm. Yep, you're right. You're right, Daniela. We can't let them draw a Charm. So yes, I activate this now for the information before deciding on doing anything else. Because then I can see what they're drawing for the turn. Another Charm, okay. So I can sack this Lantern on them. Skullcrack. Cool. So now that we know they're drawing a blank for the turn, we can sack the Fair, find bridge, and then empty our hand next turn. And they're gonna deal 4 damage to us because they have Bolt, Skullcrack, Swift Spear, Grim Lavamancer, all of which are 1 damage. Yep. You are welcome to Skullcrack yourself. So the only risk now, I guess, is if we draw something we can't dump out of our hand. So we do need an upkeep stop here to potentially mill ourselves away from things that would kill us. That does not kill us. In fact, that is very good. So we Stirrings, grab a 0-drop or a land. I guess I take this island. Dump our hand, and now the game's over. Awesome. That was exciting. I really enjoy the burn matchup. Ends up, like, the match as a whole always feels super close and down to the wire. I'm just going to be milling myself for a little while here, because they could have multiple running artifact destructions in a row. So I just want to dig myself closer to more mill rocks, so I feel more protected. Yeah, burn is generally pretty miserable to play against, I'd say, Charlotte, but I think the burn matchup with this deck is a lot of fun. Like, the games always feel super down to the wire, with you, like, edging ahead of them on, like, 2 life or whatever. It's a lot of fun. Right, so we're just looking for, like, 1 more mill rock, and then I'll start killing them. Just don't really want to take any risks here when we have the game so locked up. Yeah, that's true, Charlotte. Like, you get that with Lantern as well. There's definitely some games against Burn when you're playing Lantern where you're, like, just super dead incredibly quickly. It happens. Let's mill that Revelry. I think the matchup as a whole was pretty fun. I must admit, I think Searing Blaze is a pretty miserable magic card. I think I would find Burn a lot less unpleasant to play against if Searing Blaze didn't exist. But, like, whenever you play a creature deck and they Searing Blaze you onto, you just feel like you can't win the game anymore. That was my experience playing Shadow, I'm not gonna lie, George. Every time I played Shadow and got paired against Burn, that would happen game 1. Just like, keep free Street Wraiths. Opponent leads with Lava Spike, you just want to like curl up into a ball. Right. Pretty sure they have no outs now, other than me messing up, so I'm gonna start milling them a lot. The Eidolon's annoying, but I want to draw this wire, so I'll wait a moment before getting rid of it. Yeah, that sounds about right, Charlotte. To be fair, it's not too hard for me to actually mess this up. Like, one wrong click and I can lose this. Since I'm on 2 life, I don't have that sort of margin for error, but I've shown my opponent so far that I'm not going to mess it up, so... Cool. They're on 17 cards, so this is going to take like 3 or 4 more turns, then they will be dead, and we'll be 2-0. Awesome. 2-0 with Lantern. Decent start to the stream, right? 2-0 with the most pure and good-hearted deck. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed playing Shadow Freed. It was also a bit scary though, like, I found the whole bolting myself constantly thing a bit stressful. I don't know. The one thing I really struggled with the deck was whenever I played against a deck with, like, Jeskai, where it has lightning bolts and lightning helixes, I found it really... A lot of the game's kind of irritating, so you'd get down to 7 life, and you draw a Street Wraith that you couldn't cast, and you'd want to cycle it, but you didn't want to go below 7, because then you just die to double bolt. So it's like you've just drawn a dead card. It's really frustrating. We can dream, Charlotte, we can dream. This hand's not great, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. Like, it's one of those hands where we need our opponent's deck to be a bit slow, because we don't have a fast bridge. I mean, that probably qualifies as slow, right? For Shadow, yeah. I found those matchups really frustrating with Shadow, for sure. Cool. Let's Inquisition and see if we want to throw down a needle on anything. I could just Thoughtseize here because we know they have a Cryptic we want to take. That's like kind of reasonable. This Inquisition could possibly be blank if they just have a bunch of removal in hand. Yeah, I'm just going to Thoughtseize instead. We're only punished if they have Search for Azcanta in hand and like fetch lands that we want to Pithing Needle, but otherwise I think it's fine. Alright. Looks like I am going to be Pithing Needling a Flooded Strand. I'm taking this Cryptic. And their hand is quite bad. So, Pithing Needling Flooded Strand here is reasonably aggressive, but they don't have that many things in their deck pre-board that we want to needle. They might have like a couple Planeswalkers and possibly the Colonnade, depending on how the game pans out, but... Alright. Cool. Just gonna ship the turn back here. Yeah, I'm probably going to save the other needle until we see something we actually want to hit. Freed, I agree with that. Nice Flooded Strand. I guess we're drawing lands that aren't doing much either, but I'm still allowed to feel smug. And this is our third opponent in a row who's salting off in chat, so that's nice. Yeah. Just keep passing back, I guess. It's kind of amusing, these Logic Knots just aren't going to do very much for a little while. Comes the Colonnade. So we now have 2 strands in hand. And that is a Werb Invention. That is a good Magic card. You should share the salt with us. Our opponent just said in chat, this is absurd, when they revealed the second Flooded Strand, as if it was really, like, that unlikely. It's kind of unfortunate we can't cast that were yet, but it's fine. Just ship the turn back. Like, keeps their mana pressured, right? Ooh, they're Helixing. Oh my god, they're Helixing. Can I whir here? So they can only do X equals 2, right? So I can go find a Shredder. I think I can go find a Shredder here. Okay, I'll show the Salt in a minute. The Salt is way less entertaining than like the Salt from previous rounds though. As a heads up. We lose our bridge this way, but finding a Shredder seems amazing. Yeah, they can only do X equals 2, so this seems really good. And if they ever start attacking us with the Colonnades, we have like a cheap answer, which is nice. Yep. Find my Shredder. And now our draw steps are just going to be so much better than our opponents the rest of the game. I'm actually going to mill that Field of Ruin. It's fairly annoying. Like, it gives them control over the top of our decks. So, the Salt is just my opponent saying this is absurd. So it's not as entertaining as the Salt from previous rounds, but you know, take what you can get. Right, so the Bolt's a pretty bad draw for them, which is nice. I think I'm gonna Needle here on a named Celestial Colonnade. Because, like, if we can keep them off colonnades, then the rest of their draws are, like, all these burn spells are pretty bad draws for them. If they counter this, that's also fine, because we should be able to find a bridge over the next few turns. And in order to be attacking us, they'd have to be tapping out. So, like, it's one of those situations where if they don't counter this, it's fine. If they do counter it, we're, like, really happy. Because they don't know we've got the Inquisition if they have a Logic Knot. It makes a lot of sense for them to, like, deal with this. That is A-okay, friend. Stirrings, find something good. Lantern does not qualify. Water does. So I'm not going to Inquisition them yet, because I don't want them knowing that we have the Inquisition, because then they're inclined to hold up Logic Knot. So that way we stop ourselves taking 4 damage off a colonnade. Might as well mill the Serum Visions. We don't really care about it that much, but it's kind of like no reason not to. Gives us a bit more idea what's underneath it. Secure the wastes we don't care about, because we're going to have a bridge down as of this turn. Well, this game has been really straightforward. It's naming Flooded Strand. They have 2 Flooded Strands in hand, George. They had one in their opener and then drew another one. So we have to remember they have a reshuffle in hand. Because they have the Path to Exile. Rain of Salt. Nice Flooded Strands. Oh my god, this is great. They've drawn 3 of the needled Flooded Strands in the top 18 cards. I'm so happy right now. Playing Lantern just, like, gives me life. I'm gonna mill this Inquisition, I think. Actually, I might not. You know, this is kind of weird. I think I'm... Oh yeah, what am I talking about? I'm reshuffling. I'm stupid. Ignore me. Ignore me. I know how to play Magic. I said it gives me life, Daniela. As in, like, siphons it away from other people. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay, I've got my Jeskai sideboard guide here. So I'm going to copy that and then probably change some things. So with my old list, I was boarding in Search, Decay, and Pulse, and taking out Witchbane, Spellbomb, and either a Pixis or a Bauble. I'm still unsure which I'm meant to take out. It's not really obvious. So we want answers to Stony, and Search helps grind. I think Tezzeret's pretty bad, because they have lots of lightning bolts and stuff, and normally they have so many that they have to just leave some in post board, even though they're kind of bad. I think Padeem could be okay though. I'm going to try out Padeem in this matchup. I've not done that before, but I could see her being decent. In which case I could just cut a Bauble and a Pixis. That's a possibility. Or a Mopal, even, instead of the Pixis. That's fine too. I think this looks pretty reasonable as a sideboard approach. Depending on what we see, we could end up boarding in like the extra Pithing Needle, or the Nature's Claim or whatever. Like if we see multiple searches on Stonies next game, or if we see multiple Jaces, it could incline us one way or the other. I almost wonder if I want the Pithing Needle over one of the Pixie. Just because I'm so scared of Jace. But I think I'm just going to run it like this for now. We don't even know how many Jaces they have in their deck. So there are lots of matchups where you want to be on the draw with Lantern against grindy decks, but I find against Cryptic Command decks I really like being on the play, just because you can get down some important stuff before your opponent has either Logic Knot or Cryptic up. Whereas like against discard spell decks, you actually want to be on the draw because you can't get down your stuff fast enough to escape the discard spells, so you might as well just have the extra card. Sounds a bit awkward because of the coloured mana situation, but we're obviously going to keep. Oh, I wonder if I was meant to draw out a Grafdigger's Cage. Like, sometimes they only have like two or three Snapcasters, which can make Cage a bit unexciting. Might be that the Baurble's better than the Cage. Alright. So this hand's very unexciting, but it should be fine. The thing I'm scared of with this hand is specifically Engineered Explosives. I think Engineered Explosives and Stony to an extent, but we have Decay, which will be online eventually. But Engineered Explosives just like destroys all our ones, which is really sad. I think I play the Cage because I have redundancy with my Milrocks. Kind of makes sense. Padeem is great. Having a Padeem in play just feels so wonderful. It's like one of the funnest Phyrexian arenas. No, not Stony. Stony isn't the end of the world because we do have this Decay that will be online eventually, but it's obviously a problem. Oh, Serum Visions, sure. Yeah, for sure, George. And like any removal you're leaving in will be like lightning bolts and stuff that can go face if you are in a situation where you have to leave and stuff like that. I'm actually gonna not cast both of these. Partially it plays around and oh shit. I should they put a card on top, so I should mill them, obviously. Oh, they left the Serum Visions on top, sure. I almost F6 through that. I want to hold up Decay mana for Stony Silence, which is why I'm not casting the Pixis. Because once the Stony's down, this doesn't make green anymore, so. Oh, this is exciting. Gideon. Gideon emblems are fun, let me tell you. Gideon emblems are fun. Let's just kill this Gideon. Kill this Gideon. Play our Phyrexian Arena. If they make a big Gid post board, I have a Maelstrom Pulse. Pre-board, I have to Pithing Needle Big Gideon, and then recur Pyrite Spellbomb enough times to kill Big Gideon. Which is really, really tedious on mine. It can take like 6 turns. Yeah, it's kind of a neat one, for sure, Freed. Honestly, I'm going to be drawing so many cards, I kind of want to do the Bauble trick on them. Is that crazy? It's kind of interesting to me. Because, like, normally you're just always meant to do it on yourself, but I think where I'm drawing so many cards, I don't need the selection, and I'd rather just stop them getting something threatening. I think Vendilion Cleat probably counts as threatening. It's, like, kind of marginal, but yes, I'll take it. don't know that this sequencing matters at all. Okay, Inquisition is nice. What is it, Daniela? I'm gonna cast the Pixis to see if I can get them to like spend a counterspell on it. Okay, now I'm gonna cast the Inquisition because they didn't counter the Pixis anyway. I was gonna Inquisition them regardless. Yeah, opponent's done. I wanted to see your hand, opponent. Come on. Just conceding like that. So rude. Easy Frio. Easiest Frio. I'm so happy right now. Right, what's this? Oh my god, Daniela. I made something like this one brief moment, then we'll get back to the games. I made something like that about 5 months ago and streamed it, but my version was like not as polished. Goblin lore was not a known quantity at the time. So this is what I played in like October on stream. It's like really fun. I really loved Bomat Courier. I just wanted to cast Bomat Courier in Modern. I think I showed this list to Charlotte back then and she said that I should like consider adding the Burning Tree package. Yeah, it's really sweet, right? You get to do some really silly things with Bridge, which is nice. I had a turn against, what was it, against blue-white control, where turn 2 on the play. It was like, sack Neonate, discarding a Bridge. Oh no, it was Cathartic Reunion, discard 2 bridges, sack Neonate, discard Bridge, get 3 zombies, play 2 ballistas for x equals 0, have 18 power. It's just so fun. I don't know. I think I 3-2'd one league with it and then never played it ever again, but... Alright. 3-0. 3-0 with Lantern. I love this deck. This deck is just everything I want to do. By which I mean it makes my opponent sad, so... You know. Oh, he was streaming it yesterday? I missed that. That's cool. I feel like I saw a bit of his stream yesterday. I can't remember what he was doing at the time though. I know I saw him getting murdered by some allies, I think. Lantern is rude. Lantern is quite rude. You are not wrong, Charlotte. It is quite the rude deck. Really happy with the matchups we've been getting with it. Like, all 3 of the matchups we've faced so far, I'd say... I think Hollow One's like a really good matchup, and Burn and Jeskai are both kind of close, but you're a bit of a favourite. Alright, opponent is 0-0. This hand is unexciting. I'm inclined to keep this. It's not good. I think it's good enough. Like, having 4 mana sources in your opener is always a bit awkward. Like, so... This hand's, like, really close. It's not, like, actively good, but it's kind of fine. The thing is, there are matchups where this hand is great just because you have an early bridge. Like, Caves of Koilos matchups are matchups where this hand's very good. just like any hand where you have 4 mana sources, and you have like something like Witchbane that's a bit clunky and situational, and then like you don't have anything to really help you dig through your deck very much. It can just like feel a bit clunky sometimes. They're the sort of hands you keep, and like some of the time you get there and some of them you don't, and you're never quite able to figure out like whether you're running at expectation or not with them. Magic decks are great versus Caves of Koilos decks. This is true. Inquisition is good against Caves of Koilos decks. Stop them taking this bridge, hopefully. Maybe take a Flicker Wisp out of their hand. Or, you know, just whiff. I'm a bit worried about them getting a Millrock. I'm a bit worried about that. So, the good news is we're going to get to play a bridge next turn if they don't rip, what's it called? The Eldrazi Temple. I'm almost tempted to, if I hit the 4th mana, I'm almost tempted to just play Witchbane Orb. I'm still not bothering to crack this bauble yet, there's just no need. We're in no rush. Yeah, because now we've kept the bauble. That's rude, opponent. That's so rude. It means they're not going to be able to Fort Knot us next turn though. So that's nice. I guess I'm going to go find my island, right? Oh no, I can't. Because they have 2 of the stupid Arbiters. Yeah, I really don't want them having a Shredder. I agree with that, Freed. Well, Spire's gone. It's like kind of annoying. Honestly, the big worry is how many Flicker Wisps they draw into over the next few turns, because those can get the bridge out of the way. This is one of the matchups where having multiple bridges in play is like really, really good, because it helps fight against that a bit. So I have 2 options here. I can cast the bridge and then I'm not taking any damage, or I can cast the Witchbane to shut off Gonti. And I think I'm kind of interested in just shutting off Gonti, honestly. To stop them finding a Shredder. It means we have a bit less padding against a Flicker Wisp over the next couple turns, is the one fear I have about this. Which is definitely a thing. You heard Gonti mentioned several times. Yeah, it's been a weird game, George. My opponent switched to standard. Like, if I bridge, it does cushion me a bit. I think I just don't want to let them get a Shredder, though. I think if my opponent finds a Shredder, or a Pithing Needle, if they find a Pithing Needle, that's really bad for me too. So I think I just want to turn off the Gonti. No, I think I Witchbane here, George. I don't want them Gontiing into a Pithing Needle. I think them finding a Pithing Needle is actually really bad for me. And this way we stop that by turning off Gonti, which is nice. Yeah, exactly, George. I think it's safe to bauble here. I'm kind of unsure. I might just wait a turn before cracking the bauble. It's probably fine to wait a turn. Do we want to mill ourselves? There are no one-offs we really care about. So I guess we blindly mill ourselves. Try and find a lantern. Hey, that can name Displacer. Which is nice. Obviously we want to name Displacer here, because going along, they get to start displacing their Flicker Wisps. Do I dump this to get this out of my hand? Otherwise they can like path the Fort Knot to get in 4 damage. I think I'm fine if they do that though. Yeah, I'll just pass the turn. It's not an activated ability. It's not an activated ability, George, because it doesn't have a semicolon. If it doesn't have a semicolon, then you can't Pithing Needle it. Hey, Jim. They can, can't they? Oh, target opponent. You're right, Waffles. I'm stupid. Look at me learning how my opponent's cards work. I kinda want to mill that Pixis just because I need to find a lantern to shut them off of Displacer as quickly as possible. Or another bridge also works. So I think I'm just going to mill the Pixis. We're looking for either another bridge or a lantern to help give us insulation against the first Flicker Wisp. I mean, that's a lantern on... Wait, we can get it now, can't we? Because we've got the Mox Opal. This is great. So as long as they don't have a Displacer in their hand, we've... Oh no! No, Arbiter! Arbiter! I like to think everyone in chat was just panicking, like 15 seconds in the future. Because I almost sacked that into the Arbiter. Oh my god. How's Lantern treating you? We're 3-0 so far, so that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with a 3-0 start. Okay, if they have Flicker Wisp here, we die. No! So rude! So heartbreaking. We're about to gain a life next turn as well, to get us out of range of their board. Sadness. Yep. That's kind of sad. Okay. What do we want to change? This Ether Grid and this Pyroclasm seem excellent. I actually kind of like the idea of like this nonsense. Padim seems really good against Flicker Wisp, right? Padim seems great against Flicker Wisp. Grafdigger's Cage seems bad. Yep, completely agree with you, Charlotte. Padim seems awesome. We want to trim a couple Whirs, I think, because of the Arbiter. I can bring in, like, Decay Impulse. I need answers to Stony, after all. I could honestly probably even bring in Nature's Claim, because it hits Stony, but it also hits Tide Hollow Sculler and Ether Vial, which I think is enough things that, like, the Nature's Claim's pretty appealing to me. I think the Nature's Claim's appealing and the Ancient Grudge probably isn't, unless we see, like, Pithing Needles out of their sideboard. What else do we want to change? The jars aren't good. Search. Search could be fine. I'm going to consider the search. So what do we want to take out? Probably can just take out this Witchbane. It looked pretty good that game, but I think in general this is going to be quite bad against them. Need to take out 2 more things. just like maybe. Normally I'd take out a Milrock against decks like these, against our opponents, but it's kind of awkward that we're boarding out 2 Whirs. It makes me almost feel like I can't board out Milrocks very easily. Isn't Padim a Nomba with Bridge? No, you don't try and attack with Padim. You just sit there drawing. Oh, as in because of the card draw. So often you can get around the card draw with your milling. So you can keep yourself off of drawing. You can like mill yourself to stop yourself ending up in a situation where you can't cast your stuff. So it's like a bit of a nombo, but it never actually ends up. It's like rarely ends up mattering that much. I think we need 2 needles because of Displacer. Not really sure. Maybe I just like cut this. I guess I'll cut 1 Milrock. I'm a bit uncertain what the final card's meant to be. It's possible we're meant to be on the draw here, but I'm going to go on the play just to... This is not a good hand, but it's probably better than going to 5. Because of Arbiter Ghost Quarter shenanigans, like, having lots of lands isn't the end of the world. I think the Spellbomb's fine, Charlotte. They have, like, Tide Hollow Skellas and stuff I don't mind killing with it. I feel like Grixis Shadow is gonna have... I think Shadow's pretty good gem, but, like, I honestly haven't played with it that much. I'm gonna keep this because it gives us a scry with the Bauble. And we'll probably want a Milrock at some point anyway, right? I know I wouldn't mind jamming some Lantern on stream at some point. Oh, their Skellas are gonna do nothing? That's great. Also, this hand is really scary, that's great. I'm gonna take a Displacer and then cry about the other Displacer, I guess. I don't really know. The redundancy just makes this discard spell kinda stink. I guess I do this though. It's kind of awkward because like we're going to have to deal with the other Displacer at some point, even after taking the first. But I guess I just want to take the 3/3 out of their hands, since it beats down okay. Like I say, it's kind of awkward. Don't really know what I meant to do there. Yeah, I definitely agree with George that it was like overhyped, but I don't know, I still think it was a pretty good deck. Am I doing the Bauble trick here? I might be. Potentially leaves me with a card in hand for them to snipe with the Fort Knot, which I'm not in love with. I might wait 1 turn and do the Bauble trick next turn. Is that unreasonable? I'm a bit unsure on this decision. So I don't want to draw like a 3-drop and a 1-drop and then not be able to cast both and get one stolen by a Fort Knot for no good reason. Is the problem. I think I'm just going to draw this turn because of that. This could be good. This doesn't do much at the moment, but if the game goes long it will be nice. If we can stall things out of a bridge. Like, this is one of those cards that helps us beat opponents drawing Flicker Wisps as outs, because if we can stall out the game with a bridge for a couple turns, we can just whittle away at their board. It's also something that helps deal with Displacer Fort Knot combo as well, for like similar reasoning. Ooh. We're about to start losing our draw steps soon, which is problematic. Because they can start flickering the Tide Hollow. That's a good draw. That is a good draw. Kind of a good draw. Not really that good a draw, I guess. So, it deals with the Tide Hollow being flickered. It's kind of awkward that they can play around it to some extent. If they draw an untapped land for their turn. Because they can play the other Tide Hollow and then hold up the flicker. Or they can play a... yeah, they can hold up 2 flickers even. Right. So we get to Nature's Claim one of these now. Oh, we get to Nature's Claim the one they're going... I guess it doesn't matter which one we claim. It's like all the same, right? Whatever. So they still have the combo in play, which is still annoying for us. We kind of need to rip a removal spell or something. Like this Pyroclasm we just milled. Or a Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle would be nice. Lantern's not the end of the world. Thalia doesn't matter, so we'll let them draw that. We can just ping down Thalia with Ether Grid anyway. Why not just play Tron? That is the question everyone asks themselves, George. Why not just play Tron? So they have Thalia, TKS, and 2 mystery cards. That probably don't matter that much. However, this combination is scary. This is interesting. I'd have thought they'd want to hold up 2 activations. So it's really awkward because, like, this is one of those situations where we really wish we had a Whir in our deck, right? Or more Whirs, because we only have the 2 left in post-board. It's like, Whir is so bad against Arbiter, but it's kind of necessary against this nonsense. And because we've kind of flooded a bit, I mean, we haven't really flooded, we kept a 4-lander, but because we have lots of artifacts in play, lots of lands in play and few artifacts, the Ether Grid isn't doing much either. So I guess I let them take the bridge here, and then they kill me. Oh, then I can kill the Thalia. So if they animate the vent, I get to kill Thalia. So I guess my out is I hope they animate vents, then I kill Thalia. Then we mill to bridge on our next turn. Yep. So I'm not going to ping Thalia here because 1 is the same as 3. And I want to be able to mill myself. Gonti. Grim. So they can try and like a Pithing Needle here. Casting Gonti seems kind of... I guess it's fine. Puts even more pressure on us to find a Pithing Needle soon because they can start displacing it. And finding their own Pithing Needles. Is this where they cast a Millrock? Like, them casting a Millrock is also really scary, right? Because, then they get to control our draw step. Well, so, upkeep, we're going to mill ourselves again. Now we need to sack the lantern. Nope. We can't bauble into a Wurthor bridge because we don't have enough mana. I mean, they have to try something, Daniela. Oh my god, Gonti of all things. I did always find it very amusing that, like, the first time Daniela ever picked up that black-white deck, she instantly 5-0'd with it. Just, like, proving Shitbear's superiority over the format. I know. We beat all these, like, competitive modern decks and then lost to Caves of Koilos. What is life? You did it twice, in fact. Jeez. I still can't believe Brad Nelson actually played that deck at the SCG team event. And he went like 8-1 on day one as well. It's like, what? Alright, 3-1. 3-1 is not bad. Hopefully can round off this league with a nice 4-1. Opponent is 3-1 as well. So if we 4-1, not only do we get delicious treasure chests, but we get to dream crush our opponent's 4-1 dreams. Which, you know, is like almost even better. This hand's fine. No discard, but we've got turn 3 bridge. I'm gonna empty our hand pretty quickly. Is 4-1 even a dream? 4-1 is like plus 20 ticks. You know, I'll take it. This draw got better. So like last time, I'm not gonna cast Lead on Lantern because I don't want opponent to get to use this Arid Mesa as a scry. Crushing Dreams is the point of Lantern. You're not wrong, Charlotte. You're not wrong. This makes us a bit weaker to discard specifically. The not running out the Lantern, but I think it's fine. I think we just don't want to give our opponent the scry, and it's pretty unlikely they're going to have a turn 2 discard spell after not having it turn 1. Kind of curious what they're playing. Normally when I see Arid Mesa, my mind just instantly thinks burn, but it's turn 2 and they're not doing anything. I must admit, I am super jealous of that emote that Caleb just got made, Charlotte. It's like legit amazing. Opponent, please. Opponent. I just wanted to play Magic. Oh my god. Caleb's emotes in general are just so gas. He also has a pizza unicorn. Isn't that all you can really ask for in life? The Derpy Burrito. I know he mentioned last night, didn't he say like the Derpy Burrito was his favourite one or something? Oh, Hallowed Fountain. Are we dead? We might be dead. We might be dead. This is exciting. This is exciting. I have never played against this deck with Lantern before. No, Divination. Divination's so unfair. Divination, 0 mana Divination as well. 0 mana Divination. Does anyone know what sort of sideboard plans they have? I want to know what cards they have to be scared about post-board. I'm assuming they just have like mentors and stuff that we're not really too fussed about. Opponent did just cast Gush. You are not wrong. This is their turn 2, Jim. Turn 1 they just passed and did nothing. Which I'm assuming means they got there this turn with their draw step. Is this another retract? Okay. Suiting up the Pure Steel. I like it. I like it. No Stonies. Oh my god. That... Good point, well made. We do not have to worry about Stony Silence. My hand feels particularly ill-suited against... Particularly ill-suited against that deck. Let's get rid of this retract. And let them draw the mana. Reverse Engineer, that's exciting. I've not seen that in these lists before. I'm a bit out of date on the Pure Steel Paladin meta, but I've not seen Reverse Engineer in the deck before. Like, gives the deck a lot more grinding power, I guess. If they don't kill us here, we're probably okay. If they do kill us here, we're obviously not, but... Like, with 2 Mill Rocks, this feels reasonably under control at the moment. If they don't kill us. Oh my god. We might actually win. Sweet, Nuclear Synth. I might just take a quick look at that list before playing on. So... has 2 Grape Shots. So the sideboard is like Disenchants. Alright. Cool. Thanks for the list, Nuclear Synth. I hadn't seen that at all. That is quite some new tech. I'm assuming they just have no auras or equipment in their hand, otherwise they'd be casting them, so they were okay to let them draw a SRAM as a result. Because of that. Might just play both of these this turn. Do they have any, like, bounce spells for... They don't actually have any bounce spells for a Witchbane Orb, huh? So if I play these next turn, next turn I can get a Witchbane Orb. Which is probably pretty good. Or I could play Bridge this turn and get Witchbane Orb next turn. I think it's basically the same thing either way. I don't think it really matters which way we sequence it. I'm just going to let them draw the SRAM, because they have so many live draws at the moment, and SRAM is not one of them. Pretty sure... We don't know their hand, of course. Like, it's not impossible. Well, it's fairly impossible they have anything in hand we're scared about, but... 4 Forecast Force Light is worrying for Lantern. Yeah, for sure, Nucleo. What were they? The Reverse Engineers are pretty scary too, to be honest. Right. Let's activate this. We don't care about them drawing a SRAM. I'm just going to mill myself to get this out of my deck, because even if we reshuffle, we don't want to draw that at any point anyway. Ooh. Well, we know the final card in hand doesn't matter. I'm gonna work for a Witchbane Orb with my next turn. And then play the Bridge the turn after, I think. I think that makes... I think it doesn't matter what we do really, but... I guess if we play the bridge this turn, we get to hold up our mill rocks. But I just feel like they're so unlikely to be able to kill us if we hold up the ability to get a Witchbane Orb. Because it cuts off Grape Shot. They have to somehow deal 14 damage in combat. It's just so unlikely. So they're going to crack the Mesa here, because they don't want to draw a SRAM. So... I guess I mill the Divination from their deck. Nice. I wasn't going to mill them again regardless of what they revealed, because we want to be worrying this turn, but the fact they revealed a dead draw was quite lovely. So they attack us for 6. We grab a Witchbane Orb, so Grape Shot's off as an out. And then we just have to mill ourselves to make sure we don't draw something that stops us getting the bridge in play. So I'm going to set an upkeep stop for milling myself. Oh, that is a fine draw. We are going to happily draw that Spire. Cast the Inquisition, just empty our hand, get the bridge in play, and the game is now over. Oh sweet. That's pretty nice, Nuclear. I guess that's because of the new Masters set, right? The reprint. Alright, I've never played against this deck before, so give me a moment. So, what are they boarding in? They're boarding in Disenchants, and that's probably about it, based on what their sideboard looks like. Like, I kind of want the ley lines, just because it can stop them getting fast kills on us. With, Grape Shots and what have you. I think Decay is probably... We can use these to kill their Paladins and SRAMs. I'm not sure how much that matters, though. We're definitely taking out the Grafdigger's Cage. The... Piffing Needles seem quite bad too. So we have like 1 slot left in the deck. So options are, we could Ancient Grudge away like Mox Opals. Potentially. It's not the most relevant thing in the world, but it is something we could do. We could just bring in some welding jars to protect our stuff from disenchants. I think I like the welding jars the most, even though decays are also appealing. I'm going to bring in some welding jars and take out a bridge. Like, we need to find a bridge at some point, but I don't think we're going to be in like a huge rush to do it. Oh, you want the Chasm as well? Maybe. I think I'd prefer like Abrupt Decays or Pulses over the Chasm, because this hand seems fine. 2 discard spells on the draw. Because Chasm, they can stop with like some of their equipment, whereas Decays and Pulses get around the equipment. Depending on how the games play out, I could definitely see boarding in more removal for their critters though. This is my first time. This is actually my first time ever playing against Cheerios. Weirdly, let alone first time on with Lantern or whatever playing against them. Right. This is kind of nice. Get to potentially double Inquisition them if we want to. Let's see what's going on. So they have SRAM, Pure Steel Paladin, Bonesaw. So this turn seems straightforward. Just get their critters out of their hand. Yeah, Bauble was a pretty absurd draw. Nucleosynth, you are not wrong. The fact we just got to double discard spell turn 1 on the draw is kind of absurd. So these reverse engineers do give our opponent a lot of play, but they drew a Marsh Flats for the turn, which is nice for us. I'm going to leave the Bauble in play. We can save it as a Scry with a Mill Rock, and we might want the extra mana off the Mox Opal with it, for all we know. Alright, so we got a Shredder, a Welding Jar, or a Witchbane Orb. Might just take the Witchbane Orb, honestly. If we get the Witchbane Orb down, it's going to be really hard for them to actually kill us. I could also take the Shredder and just start aggressively milling them. This is kind of close. Kind of like if we take Shredder, it means we can potentially like sack the Shredder to get back a Lantern, but we're not going to be milling ourselves because I think we're going to be milling our opponent. I have no idea. These are all like kind of whatever and kind of the same. I guess I'll just take the Shredder. I'm really not sure which one to take there. Yeah, finding Lantern there would have been dreamy. Nucleo, for sure. Strong agree. You like the Orb? Yeah, the Orb was tempting. We know they have Disenchants in their deck. So, like, they do have some amount of play through the Orb, but it's definitely awkward for them. I'm going to target myself here, because I kind of want to activate this Pixis anyway, and it lets me know whether I want to do it on my turn or theirs, and I don't want to draw the Opal, so I'll happily mill it away there. If they draw another 0-drop, they can reverse engineer this turn, which is like reasonably scary, I guess. So I'm going to be aggressively milling them, I think, because milling like 2 Grape Shots or whatever is a way that we could reasonably stop them killing us. It's also like they only have so many resources to go off with, right? In order to actually generate Lethal Storm. They also only have so many Disenchants in their deck to draw when they go for the kill as well. That was kind of nice. Okay, I'm getting rid of the Grape Shot. Lantern is excellent. Let's just get this Lantern in play. Mill their reverse engineer. I don't know if we want to mill this or not, because we don't know if they drew a 2-drop. But I guess I just pass the turn. I guess all it does is cycle with a 2-drop. Quite happy I didn't mill that, because they have a Forecast on top that we definitely want to stop them drawing. Ooh, they're playing out a Mantle. They have another reverse engineer in hand, this probably means. Or they have a Forecast. I'm going to mill away this Forecast. I really don't want them drawing another Divination, if I can help it. So their hand at the moment, I think, is a Hallowed Fountain. a Paradise Mantle, and this Arid Mesa, plus 2 mystery cards. Yeah, opponent just packs it in, because they don't have any action in hand. And we had 2 Miroks. That worked out pretty well. I'm very happy to 4-1'd first league back with Lantern. Let's open a treasure chest. 15 points. Sadness. Okay, let's not open any more treasure chests. Anyway, that was fun. Nice 4-1.